sexual intercourse, which involves inserting the male organ in the female organ, whether this is in halal through marriage or haram through fornication and adultery, may Allah protect us, this invalidates the fasting. So whoever does this during the daytime of Ramadan or during any daytime of fasting voluntary, and he does this knowingly, he knows that it is something that breaks the fast, intentionally, not out of forgetfulness or due to compulsion. In this case, his fast is invalid and he is sinful for doing so if it is during an obligatory act of fasting. Only the fasting of Ramadan would have 5 consequences for having to break it through intercourse. The rest, whether you are fasting an expiation or an oath, or whether you're fasting a voluntary fast, if you have intercourse, you invalidate your fasting. Yes, you will be sinful if it's an oath or an expiation, because it's mandatory for you, but that's it. In the daytime of Ramadan, someone who intentionally, deliberately, without any excuse, performs intercourse during the daytime of Ramadan, where he has no legitimate reason not to refrain. There are 5 consequences of this. Number 1, he's sinful. Number 2, though he broke his fast, he's obliged and mandated to continue fasting the rest of the day as a form of punishment. Number 3, his fast is invalid. Number 4, because it is invalid, he has to make up for that missed day. Number 5, he has to expiate for this heinous sin that he has committed. The hadith that was reported by Bukhari and Muslim. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ saying, "O Prophet of Allah, I am doomed." The Prophet says, "What's happening?" He said, "I had intercourse with my wife during the daytime of Ramadan, of course, while I was fasting." So the Prophet says, ﷺ, "Do you find a slave to set it free?" He said, "No." So this is number 1, expiation by freeing a slave. So the Prophet said, ﷺ, "Then can you fast 2 consecutive months?" And the man said, "No." This is number 2, to fast 2 consecutive months. And by months here we mean lunar months. And the lunar months are either 29 or 30 days, as the Prophet said, ﷺ. So the Gregorian months won't work because they have 28 days and they have 31 days. It doesn't work like that. Then the Prophet said to number 3, "Can you feed 60 poor people?" And the man said, "No." So the Prophet stayed for a while, did not speak, and the man was still waiting for an answer. And by the time he was there at the Prophet's gathering, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, someone came in and brought a bucket, and it's something, a vessel made of a vessel of dates, or a bucket, a big bucket where they had dates in it. They brought it to the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, where is the one that was asking about the issue of having intercourse during the daytime of Ramadan? The man said, here I am, O Prophet of Allah. So the Prophet said to him, alayhi salatu wasalam, take this and give it in charity. So the man said, by Allah, there is no one living in Medina, between the two mountains of Medina, more worthy and more in need, no one poorer than me and my family. So the Prophet ﷺ smiled so broadly that his eyes, ﷺ, was so wide open, and his teeth were appearing because he was so happy and laughing out of joy. And he said, feed this to your family. Why did the Prophet laugh, alayhi salam? Because of the transformation. Few minutes ago, the man was terrified, saying, I am doomed. And now he's going back to his family with this big bucket of dates when they are so hungry and so in need of it.